Well, Suzanne and I are in Helen, Georgia at Best Western Hotel. And we did that because we wanted to get out of the rain. That begins tonight. It'll go for the next couple days. We needed to resupply as well. We're out of food. We finished the last 20-something mile stretch, and it took us 3 days to do it. It was especially challenging when we woke up. We were at the Chattahoochee Gap and in the morning, and we had very little water, and so we didn't drink very much because we had to get to the next water source, which was a couple miles up and over a couple mountains. And well, we started out just very weak from not having enough water. When we finally got to the water source, it was dry as a bone. And we were already totally out of water. And we wasn't quite desperate, but it was another 1.6 miles, I think, to the next water source, and we were all already weak. And I remember Suzanne, she turned to me and she said, some people say the trail provides, but I know that God will provide. And I said, yes, I know God will provide. And we turned and we started walking down the trail, and some maybe 10 minutes later, a couple caught up with us. We go kind of slow, you see. And their names were Mike and Michaela. It's interesting that their names are names of angels. Michaela being a female form of Micah, and Michael being Micah. But in any case, or Michael rather, in any case, they gave us water. It was just amazing. And they had quite a bit extra, in fact. But that was the first point where it seemed like God had sent two angels to minister us. And we're so thankful to Mike and Michaela. And then we continued on with our trip up mountain. Blue Mountain Shelter is quite high, and as I said, we hadn't been drinking enough water and probably not eating enough either, and we're both extremely weak, especially me. Suzanne was kind of encouraging me as we moved along trail, and I was really zapped and out of energy. And when we got up to the shelter, there was a girl, Danielle, and Danielle, she said, hey, I got some tea here. Would you like me to make you some tea? And she was just so pleasant, so wonderful. And she got her jet boil out and boiled some water, and she had a selection of Earl Grey and green teas, and she even had honey, and we made our tea selections, and she made us tea, and she said something like, it's amazing what a cup of tea can do to change your attitudes. And it did, I tell you. I just felt, as I sat there, both of us, Susanna and I, we both just felt invigorated. And we were planning on staying in the shelter that night, last night, or tonight rather. And but rain is coming tonight, and it would have meant that tomorrow we would have been in a rainstorm as we went down almost 1,000-foot drop from the top of Blue Mountain to Unicoi Gap. So we felt so invigorated by that, we went ahead and said, well, let's go ahead and do it. We planned to do that on the next day, but we went ahead and did it today, and we're so proud that we did what was planned for 2 days in 1 day. But when we got down to the bottom to the parking lot, our third angel came into our lives. We walked across the highway and into the parking lot, and there were a lot of people that were milling around. A man came up and he told us his name was Dirty, and that's his trail name. And Dirty said something to the effect of, "Are you guys done? Are you okay? Are you done? Where are you going?" And we told him that we were through hiking and that we weren't done, but we were going to go in and rest for resupply in Helen, Georgia. And he said, well, there's a bunch of us that'll be driving back through there. Let us give you a ride. And he teamed us up with a girl, or hooked us up with a woman who was part of the hiking club. And she gave Suzanne and I a ride right to the door of our hotel. Didn't want any money for it. How wonderful. And it just seemed like again and again, God has provided for us in this trip. Gave us water, gave us a cup of tea, gave us a ride into town, always looking after us. And we're so thankful. And I know that some of our friends are worried about us because they feel like we've bit off more than we can chew. And sometimes we feel like it too. But God is taking care of us. I'm so blessed. We are all so blessed to have a God that watches after us. This is the day that the Lord has made. And boy, this has been a wonderful day. Well, thank you for tuning in. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.